What's up, guys? Keyshawn Uchiha here, back at you with another alternate universe What If. Now, this will be part 2 of 18X of What If Naruto was the lustful Demon King. Now, apparently so, I said get this up to 50 likes, and y'all just said, fuck that 50 likes. We're getting this up to 217 likes. Now, I never ask for nothing higher. I do ask for 100 sometimes, but regularly don't pull it off, and I'll be like, oh, it's okay. I'm still proud of my children of trying to reach to a higher up, trying to reach up to 100 likes. I will still give them another part and put in details so they can like it, because I spoil y'all too much. But this time, y'all spoiled me with the likes, so I thank y'all. So this time, it's going to be a 18XX. Because we're going to put in the down and dirty. We're going to get into the nick and cranny. Like, I'm going to tell y'all, we're going to put in so much detail that you're going to be like, damn, I should probably listen to this video while I'm by myself, because I don't want my mom and people to hear my me watching this video of this detail, because they're gonna say what the hell. Now, this is going to be an 18XX, since y'all gave me 200 likes. So, if you can't handle the heat, if you're not 18, please, get the fuck out the kitchen. Because anywho, it's time to get spicy. But after all that warning stuff, let's get cooking. Now, where we last pretty much left off, Ino was trying to get into Naruto's brain. Well, you could say, get inside his mind and trying to see what did Naruto actually do to Sakura for, Sakura and Naruto to pretty much have sex. Now, this was as she was going inside the mindscape. This is where she sees a naked Naruto, and she pretty much gets a nosebleed. Now, as she's about to fall back, after seeing Naruto's naked, this is where Naruto, you could say, catches her, while still naked, licks the blood from the lip all the way up. Now, this is where she's blushing, saying that's disgusting, until Naruto says he had to clean up the blood, and pretty much begins to bite down on her neck. Now, this is where, she's moaning and saying, stop, which Naruto is saying, it's okay, I'm telling you what I did to Sakura. And this is where, you could say Naruto begins to start fingering her, and as he's fingering her, in his mindscape, her other body is getting, you could say, wet and stuff. Now, as Naruto's, you could say, finishing it up, this is where she squirts in. She squirts in her other body and falls down. Now, as she's back in her mind, this is where she says, wow, and Naruto begins to smile and walk away. Now, Naruto begins to say, well, I'll be going home now. If you want a round 2, just come by my place. You know where it's at. Now, let's get to since that's a recap, sorry. Let's get to part 2. Now, Naruto is pretty much at home, and he gets a knock at the door. This is where Ino is pretty much, waiting at the door, and she's looking down blushing, and she's pretty much saying that she wants to know what he did to Sakura. Now, this is where Naruto pretty much picks her up and brings her in the house and lays her on the bed. Now, as Ino's pretty much blushing, she's looking away at Naruto, and Naruto pretty much says, eye contact, because you're gonna see what I did. And he begins to kiss on Ino's neck. Now, Ino's pretty much blushing and stuff and moaning, and Naruto's, going down to the boobs, and he's biting the boobs and stuff, using his, could say light sharp teeth, doing a little biting it, you could say gently, and she's moaning and stuff and getting wet. Now, Naruto goes down, all the way down to the, you could say, vagina, and begins to eat her out. Now, she's, Naruto has, you could say, the split tongue. We're gonna give him a split tongue, because we're gonna say, what's the point being a demon king if you don't have, some edgy demon tongue, you could say. Now, his split tongue is, moving 2 separate ways, moving in that vagina, and she's pretty much squirting every 2 to 3 seconds, and Naruto's making her come a lot. Now she's going crazy and saying, oh my god, this is the best sex I ever had. Now this is where Naruto says, are you ready for the next part, which she begins to push Naruto on the bed, and she's and she begins to say that she wanted now. Now this is where she, you could say, put her vagina in Naruto penis. Now this is where she's riding Naruto in, and is pretty much riding him. You could say like a bull, so you could say riding him like that, and pretty much going in and out, and and Naruto's grabbing her boobs and stuff, and biting the boobs and sucking and stuff. And this is where I'm gonna say Naruto has another lustful ability, and he can make girls produce milk. So this is where he begins to, suck Ino boobs, and she begins to produce milk and stuff, and she is moaning E louder and stuff. Now we're gonna say, like, Naruto lives in an apartment center, so only like we're gonna say a girl lives next to him, and a couple of neighbors, so they can hear that this sex is getting intense, and they're all getting hard and stuff. And we're gonna say a couple who's in the apartment begins to start doing each other due to, you could say, the sex with Ino and Naruto. Now, as Ino is, you could say, still moaning and stuff, this is where, Naruto done nut in the sauce, and he nuts in Ino. Now, he's not gonna get Ino pregnant because Naruto has, the ability to give someone a baby and give someone not a baby if he pleased to. Now, this is where Naruto, well, this is where Ino, falls off and, is in the bed pretty much twitching and stuff, and her tongue is out and her eyes is rolling, which Naruto pretty much, cleans her up and begins to let her lay in the bed while he, you could say pull out a unique smoke, because we're going to say they have cigarettes back then, but a unique, different types of cigarettes. And no, he can't get cancer. He can't get lung cancer, so he's fine, alright? It won't affect his stamina or anything. Now, Naruto begins to grab smoke and pretty much smoke and heads out to the back of his bathroom, because we're going to say he has one. And he is like looking at the stars saying, I wonder where's a rock doing right now. My mentor. Which this is where we switch to a rock. Which rock is pretty much, at his throne, pretty much watching Naruto pretty much get stronger and stuff. And saying, he's pretty good in the bed, but I want to see what his combat ability is. Other than that, he's pretty good. Which this is where, all the women is hot, clinging onto a rock and saying, a rock, are you gonna get in the bed? Are we gonna have a round 5? Which a rock says, if you say so. And he begins to go back to the bed with all the women. Now, this is where, you could say, gets up from bed and hops on hugs Naruto's back and begins to say, are you gonna come into bed? I'm pretty lonely right now, which Naruto says, of course. And you could say they had a night again. Now, the next day, Naruto is pretty much is heading to the classroom, which, this is where the instructor begins to set out the teams. Now, Naruto begins to, sit down and, chilling. And Naruto wears a suit. Instead of wearing his signature, orange and, ninja outfit, he wears a suit. Because the suit is kind of as an armor thing, but it also boosts other things. Not as his, you could say, boner and stuff, but as power. Like power, and also as, chakra and all that stuff. And also magic, you could say. Now, that's what he wears a suit with, with the, not with, ninja sandals, but you could say, think of the Yakuza, how they wear their suits. It's like that suit, kind of like that. But it does have the signature Uzumaki symbol in the back. Now, Naruto got that, made by a professional. Because we're going to say a professional guy is creating suits and trying to upgrade, trying to, convince people like the suit is the thing. Which people is like saying, yeah, I don't know about this, fam. Which Naruto says, I'd take one, so he pretty much got one made for him. Now, this is where he's in the classroom sitting down, and, all the girls are next to Naruto, talking to him and stuff, and trying to get his attention. Because we're going to say Naruto have been, experimenting and seeing how far he can stand. And he been doing girls left and right and also been getting down and dirty. Now, this is where they are saying the teams, and this is where, the teacher is saying all the teams and stuff, and this is where Naruto is pretty much sitting down, and he's pretty much relaxed until they say the teams. Now, this is where they say, for Team 7, Sasuke Uchiha. And Sasuke, he's pretty much alright. Cool. He's not whining stuff. Like, we're gonna say this is a different Sasuke. This Sasuke is more like, yeah, my village died, but I'm not gonna be moping and being, emo. I'm going to kill my brother, but I'm going to do it in a way that I need help. I'm gonna need the people around me to help me achieve my goal. So he's not emo, but he's not like happy. He's in the middle of like, I'm cool, but if anyone try to disrespect my Uchiha, I'm gonna F them up. Very emotionally kind of vibe. Now, this is where, Sasuke is like, alright. And this is where they hear Naruto Uzumaki, which Naruto, you could say with the horns pretty much and along here, pretty much chilling. And pretty much, relaxing stuff and saying, huh. And these were all the girls were like, praying to, the higher up, praying to the gods and stuff or whatever, and they're saying, oh, please pick me, like, I hope it's me. Like, all the girls are doing that, including Sakura doing too, because she's not doing it for Sasuke. No, she's doing that because she wants to be by Naruto. And Ino too. And yes, Ino and Sakura, they're now fighting over Naruto and for his love. Now, Naruto's not in a relationship with any of these girls. He just has sex with them. And, now since he did them, now they want to, like, be by Naruto and stuff. Because they want that vitamin D. But other than that, this is where they call the last name. And this name is Sakura. This is what they say, Sakura Haruno. Now, Sakura gets up and says yes, which all the other girls are, like, saying, damn it, no. And, like, including Ino saying shit. Now, this is where, Sakura runs up to Naruto and hugs him and says, I'm on your team. Look like I'm on your team. Which Naruto looks at her and pretty much smiles and says, great. But you better be doing your part and not be useless, or I'll be very disappointed. Which Sakura, feels it in her heart, which she says, I won't be useless. I promise, which Naruto smiles and pretty much kissed her on the forehead saying, good girl. Now, excuse me, I'm gonna go. I need to go get some food. I'm pretty hungry. But I'll meet y'all back at where we're supposed to meet at. Which Sakura says okay, and you could say she's wet. Now, this is where Naruto is heading to the ramen shop, and he has a suit and all fancy and stuff. And he's pretty much sitting down and ordering a bowl of ramen, which the ramen guy is saying, Naruto, it's been a while. How you been? Which Naruto is saying, oh, it's been good. And they pretty much have that conversation and stuff. And this is where the ramen guy says, it's on the house, a bowl of ramen, which Naruto says, thank you. Now, as Naruto's eating the bowl of ramen and stuff, this is where the ramen daughter come in, and she begins to say, oh, hey, Naruto, which Naruto looks at her with his eyes and stuff. And he pretty much, as he's doing, he licks his, lips and does a little bite on his lip and says, what's up, girl? Which she begins to blush and stuff, which this is where Naruto asks, are you gonna be working anytime soon? Which she says, no, I'm gonna be on break a little while. Which Naruto says, you wanna come hang out with me? And we can do some things, which this is where she says, sure, Naruto. Which Naruto says, alright. Now this is where Naruto gets done and pretty much gives, we're gonna say, like 200 yen. And says, a tip, and begins to go. Now, as Naruto's going, he heads back and he's on, in the room. Pretty much with Sasuke, and Sakura is pretty much, tapping her feet, waiting for you could say waiting for like she feels like 1,000 years since Naruto left, and she begins to run to Naruto saying, "Naruto, what took you so long?" Which Naruto is pretty much saying, "There, calm down, Sakura. I just went to get some food and I was talking to the ramen guy." Which she's pretty much saying, "Oh, okay." Now this is where she does her pouty face and she's saying, "Was he talking to any girls?" Which Naruto says, "And would you have a problem with that?" Which she begins to look down and says no. Which Naruto says, "It's okay. I promise you, I will show them the same. I will show you the same. I will give you just as much love as everybody else." Which she begins to, be happy again and annoy Naruto, which Naruto doesn't, mind or care. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, since Naruto has sex with, you could say, anyone or any women, you could say, uh, their body begins to change. Which, like, we're gonna say Sakura, for instance. If Sakura doesn't have ass or titties, Sakura will, her body will start to, you could say, mature to, handle Naruto vitamin E, as it will give her ass and titties so Naruto can, be still satisfied and stuff, and also help their body have the both, you could say, B and A, you could say. Now, other than that, let's continue. Now, this is where Sakura is laying, or Naruto, pretty much acting like a cat purring on him, which this is where Kakashi comes in. Now, Kakashi is pretty much looking at the team and sees Sakura, and he pretty much seeing that Sasuke is pretty much reading a book, because Sasuke, he's pretty much reading books about genjutsus and stuff, and also learning how to, be a better fighter after the whole fight with Naruto. Now, this is where Kakashi says, "Okay, now everybody meet up into Rooftop." Now, everybody heads up to the rooftop, and this is where, Sasuke does the same thing, but not in a emo, edgy tone. He's pretty much saying that, you know, what I want is, I want to kill my brother Itachi, but also I want to get strong enough so I don't have to feel weak ever again. Now, and this is where, Sakura says the same thing, but this is where she says that she's gonna get strong for Naruto. She wants to be strong for Naruto, so one day she'll be the only one that he can rely on. Now, this is where Naruto pretty much is pretty much smiling, and Kakashi says, "And you?" Which this is where Naruto gets up and he does this. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like to eat ramen. I like to have sex. I like to fight, and I don't know. And one day I'm gonna become Hokage, and I'm gonna bring all nations in peace. Because hell, I might get bored of fighting one day." Now, this is where, Kakashi gives him a side brow and is saying, "Hmm?" Which Sasuke begins to do a little laugh, and Sakura, she's looking down because she remembers the sex appearance, and she's getting wet. Now Kakashi is saying, odd team, a very odd one you are," and he begins to say, "Well, tomorrow meet me at the training field. We're going to do a test." Which Sasuke says, "We're doing another test," which Kakashi says, "Yes, it's going to be the bell test. Do you have any objections?" Which Sasuke says, "Whatever." Which Naruto says, "This will be fun. Sasuke, you meet me later on at my house so I can train you, so we can get training for the bell test." Which Sasuke says, "Whatever," and he begins to go. Now, this is where Sakura is pretty much clinging on to Naruto, of course, with her boobs on Naruto's arm, and she's pretty much saying that are they going to do something later on, which Naruto tells Sakura that, yeah, they're going to be training with Sasuke, so she better get her ass prepared, get a good sleep. And this is where she begins to say, "And that's all?" And she begins to get aside, which Naruto kisses her in the lips. and begins to tell her like, remember, Sakura, remember what I said to you. Don't be useless, or I'm not going to show you love. Which she pretty much says. Understood, and she begins to go home. Now, Naruto, Naruto, as he's about to go, sees Sakura and looks at the bag and says, "Damn," and he pretty much smacks her ass and tells her to have a good night, which she begins to get wet and says, "Yes, Naruto-kun," and pretty much runs home. Now, Naruto is pretty much going to the ramen shop and meets you could say the ramen guy's daughter, and they begins to, you could say, go out for the night, which Naruto's taking her to, you could say, expensive places, because we're gonna say Naruto got that drip. We're gonna say he has that money in that drip, so he ain't no broke boy. And he's taking her around and stuff and buying her, and he buys her a necklace, pretty much buying her an expensive necklace, and saying, does she like, which, she says, oh, Naruto, you don't have to do this, which Naruto says, oh, he's just doing what he feels like when he wants to do. Now, this is where she's blushing and stuff, and Naruto pretty much saying, well, should I take you home then? Which she says, well, actually, I want to go to your place because I've been hearing a lot of rumors that you have a secret, which I want to know about. Well, this is where Naruto smiles and says, so you want to know about my secret, huh? And he comes close to her, pretty much grabbing her ass, which she begins to, pretty much says, what is this feeling? And she begins to get wet. And she says, yeah. Well, she begins to say, yeah, which Naruto says, alright. Now, this is where Naruto is taking her back to the house, and he begins to kiss with her. Now, this is another 18XX part, so this will be, this time, the extra detail without delay. Now, as Naruto's pretty much kissing her and stuff, he begins to kiss down on her neck and stuff, and you could say licking it and stuff, and giving her a hickey, which she's moaning. Now, as he's giving her a hickey and stuff, this is where he's undressing her and stuff, and she's pretty much telling Naruto that she's pretty much a virgin, which Naruto tells her that he's gonna treat her like he's gonna treat her like a favorite blanket, or like a diamond, not a diamond, more like an ice cream. Yeah, he's going to lick her like an ice cream, pretty much. Now, as Naruto's licking her down, up and down, she's pretty much moaning and stuff, and Naruto's, sucking on titties and stuff. And, this is where milk is coming out. And she's pretty much saying, milk? I'm not even pregnant, which Naruto's pretty much sucks on the milk, and she's moaning even harder because we're going to say, as Naruto's, you could say, doing the sex thing, and his split tongue, she begins to, feel the experience and stuff, and we're gonna say the saliva gives that effect of like that ecstasy, or that extra vibe push, you could say, that push of ecstasy, yeah, of that. Now, as she's moaning louder and stuff, Naruto begins to go down and begins to, you could say, finger it and licks her clit. If you don't know, that's a part of the vagina, the clit. And he's licking it and fingering it, and she's pretty much saying yes, yes, yes. And this is where she begins to squirt really hard, and she make a whole squirt on Naruto's face. Now Naruto pretty much licks the squirt and says, "Huh, I didn't know you was a powerful squirter." Which she begins to cover up her face and says she's so sorry that never happens before. Which Naruto says it's okay. Now, is she ready for the next part? Which she shakes her head down, up and down, saying, yeah. Now, this is where Naruto begins to, you could say, puts his penis in the vagina. Now, this is where he puts it in nice and slowly, and she begins to moan. Now, Naruto's going in and out and stuff, and she's enjoying it and stuff, and Naruto's pretty much, giving her more hickeys and stuff, and biting her neck a little bit hard. And she's saying yes, yes, more and more. Now, this is where they're switching precisions? Yeah. And we're going to say styles. Switching styles, and, they're doing doggy style and all that stuff. Now, this is where Naruto says he's about to come, and she says, "Do it inside me," and Naruto pretty much done nuts in her. Now, Naruto and you could say the Ramen daughter is pretty much laying in the bed together, and she's pretty much saying that's the best sex she ever had in her life, which Naruto's saying, "I appreciate that, thank you." Now, this is where she kisses him and says that she has to go, which Naruto says that, he sees her later, which she says, yeah. Now, of course, this is where, she leaves and begins to head back to the ramen place. And Sasuke begins to show up and Sakura begins to show up. Now, Naruto, of course, is come downstairs and he only has like the pants and the shoes on. But he doesn't have no shirt on and stuff. And he says he's gonna be training them how to tree walk and also how to water walk, because in this belt test he's not gonna have no exception to failure. Now Sakura is, saying okay, yes Naruto, and of course Sasuke is looking away now. Naruto begins to look at Sasuke and pretty much gets close to him and says, "Listen, Sasuke, I don't know what happened between you and your brother. Whatever happened, happened. But right now, I need you to focus, and I need you to get strong, because right now, at this state, you're looking weak. And to be honest with you, you keep moping around, so you need to stop this." Which Sasuke says, "How dare you?" Which Naruto says, "But am I wrong?" Which Sasuke looks away and says, "Damn, he's right." Now this is where Naruto says, "Alright, listen, I'm sorry for saying that, but ain't you motivated to kill your brother? So let me help you get strong so you can be strong enough to kill your brother." Which Sasuke agrees upon and says, "Alright." Now this is where Naruto is training him how to tree walk, water walk. And it only takes him about 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Nah, 30 seconds. 30 seconds or 30 minutes. But yeah, Sakura, it took her 10 minutes because actually 5 minutes. 5 seconds. Nah, 10 seconds. 10 seconds? No, 5 minutes. We're gonna say it took Sakura 5 minutes and Sasuke 10 minutes, because Sasuke, we're gonna say the link between Naruto and any of his sex mates, it's strong, so yeah, it took 5 minutes for Sakura, but 10 minutes for Sasuke, because, now, Naruto is asking Sasuke what else jutsus he knows, and this is where Sasuke activate his Sharingan. Now, Naruto looks and he's pretty much saying, "What the hell is that?" Which Sasuke is pretty much explaining the Sharingan and stuff and what it can do. Now, he's saying only Uchiha can do it, which Naruto says, I always wanted to try what I can do. Let me see if I can do it. And he begins to activate his Sharingan. Now, Sasuke is shocked because Naruto just activated a Sharingan. But this is not any Sharingan. This is a Sharingan that is his, you could say, color, which is kind of like pink, a little bit purplish pink Sharingan with the Tomoe. So yeah, so it still has the same eye color, like not the black, not the like red and then black thing. It has more like the same. Think of the Sharingan, but not of red. It's purple and pink, and has the one Tomoe. Now, Sasuke is saying, "Are you a Uchiha?" Which Naruto says, "I don't know if I am a Uchiha, but to be honest with you, since I have a Sharingan, this training should be a little bit much more better." Now Sakura is pretty much looking down, saying, "Damn, I wish I was a Uchiha." Which Naruto begins to tell Sakura to come here, which Sakura begins to come closer, which Naruto begins to tongue kiss her and stuff. And Sasuke is pretty much looking away, blushing, and you could say getting a boner, you could say. And Naruto begins to tell her to focus now, open up her eyes, and she gets the Sharingan. Now, Sasuke is saying, "What the? She's not a Uchiha. How does she has the Sharingan?" Which Naruto says, I gave her a Sharingan. I gave her a couple of Sharingan. Because ain't you want to get stronger? Now you can get mad at me of pretty much taking your style of your eyes, but I'm helping you get stronger. So get over it. Which Sasuke looks away and says, whatever. And they begin to start training now. Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto, they get up to 3 Tomoe. Not up to 3 Tomoe, that's a little bit too OP. We're going to say 2 Tomoe Sharingan. And we're going to say Sakura gets up a little bit higher of experience of training. So Sakura is not going to be that useless. Now, of course, Sasuke is tired and stuff, and including Sakura, which Naruto is not tired. He's not out of breath or anything. And he's saying, "Alright, that was some good training, guys. So what I'm gonna do is basically teach y'all some jutsus, because I know that Uchihas can use lightning style since they're Uchiha. I've been doing my research on Uchihas, and I know they can do fire styles and even greater fire styles, which I'm going to teach you, Sasuke, the great Fire Phoenix style. And Sakura, I teach you an Earth style, because I think you have an Earth style, am I right?" Which she's pretty much saying, yeah, she does. Now, this is where Naruto teaches them, and he says, "Alright. Now, if you're asking how did Naruto learn any of, fire styles and stuff, Naruto pretty much have been going to Hiruzen's office and taking scrolls and, copying them down. And he has them all in, one big scroll, so, yeah. And plus, his memory is, 20, 20, 20, 20 vision. No, I'm joking. I stop. I'm joking. But, yeah, pretty much, yeah, his memory is that of a god. So, he remembers everything. Now, this is where you could say Naruto, the next day Naruto and Sakura and Sasuke wakes up and they begins to head to the field. Now, of course, Kakashi takes forever, and Naruto feel like he was about to take forever, so he says, "I knew he was about to take forever, so here, I got y'all guys some meals." Which, this is where Sasuke says, "Thanks," which Sakura is saying, but he says not to eat or we're gonna puke, which Naruto says, "First of all, Kakashi just says that to us so we can be out of energy and we can't do anything, and we can be frustrated at each other because we're really hungry. Because if you don't eat, we're gonna get frustrated at each other, and we're gonna be failing the test because we didn't work together. So I need y'all to eat so we can work together." Which Sakura says, "Oh, right," and begins to eat. Now, as they're all eating stuff, Naruto pretty much accelerated the whole box so it won't be no evidence. Or no, he puts it into another dimension, and Kakashi comes in. Now, this is where, Kakashi looks at the team and he sees something on Sakura's cheek, which, this is where, Kakashi's saying, "So Sakura, you ate? Only you?" Which Naruto says, "No, sir. Actually, all 3 of us ate because we're gonna work as a team to defeat you." Which Kakashi says, "Huh. Let's see then." This is where he's explaining the bell test and stuff, and he's explaining what he can, what they can do and stuff, and what they can possibly what they can possibly do. All they have to do is just get the bell from him. And they only see 2 bells, which they're saying there's only 2 bells. But he says, "Well, one of y'all is going to be sent back, man. So y'all better start to see who's going to win." Which, Sakura's getting scared. And Naruto says, "Don't worry. We're still going to use teamwork. And we're going to get those bells. And we're just going to figure out after then." Which, Sasuke says, "Alright," and includes Sakura. Now, this is where Kakashi says, "Alright," or Marcus said, "Go." And this is where, Sasuke and Sakura begins to, jump away. Now, of course, this is where Naruto runs in, and he begins to, blitz Kakashi, kicks him through a tree, in which Kakashi, did not see it coming, and, coughing up a little bit of blood, and he begins to say, "Alright, that hurts," and he puts his book away and says, "I guess it's time to get a little serious," and charge at Naruto. Now, Naruto is pretty much, we're going to say, whooping Kakashi ass. Even if he's a Junin, Naruto just has that strength and speed and stuff. That of a demon, you could say. Now, of course, Kakashi is pulling out the kunai, and he's pretty much switched his whole, training into I'm going to kill you stance now into a killing, and the whole atmosphere changed. Now Naruto backs up and he says, "Oh, so you changed the whole atmospheres now? Now you're going for the kill now, Kakashi?" Which Kakashi just, pulls up his Sharingan, his three Tomori Sharingan, and he pulls out his kunai, saying, and pretty much charging at Naruto. Which this is where Naruto says, "Oh, silent type, I see now." Okay, and he activates his two Tomori Sharingan, saying, "All right, let's go." And he begins to charge at Kakashi now. Naruto summons a katana and pretty much, clash with Kakashi with the kunai. And they're pretty much, clashing with each other. Now, this is where, sorry if I'm saying like 2 times, my bad. But pretty much this is where Naruto says, "Now Sakura." And this is where Sakura forms a mud, kind of like a mud jutsu, kind of like an earth mud jutsu, and it started covering over the ground. Now, of course, Naruto, Naruto jumps just in time, and Kakashi gets stuck in it, and he's trying to move out, but he can't. It's like it turns into pure molded rock, and his feet is stuck. Now, this is where Naruto is doing backflip, and he says, "Now Sasuke," and Sasuke shoots a fire phoenix at Kakashi, which Kakashi can't get out. And this is where he prays the impact and gets hit by it. Now, of course, Kakashi is, subjutsu out of there. And he goes right behind Sakura, which this is where Sakura has the Sharingan, and she begins to dodge Kakashi attack and punch him in the stomach, which she backs up, and as Kakashi's trying to go in for the kill, he accidentally stepped on one of Sakura's traps, because we're going to say Sakura is a good trap master. So she's trapping. That sounds a little bit wrong, but yeah, she's trapping. So she traps Kakashi by a string thing and lifting him up, which Kakashi can't realize he just got trapped until Sasuke comes in, and he pretty much shoots a fireball and hits Kakashi, and pretty much making Kakashi hit the ground. Now this is where Naruto grabs the bells. Immediately hurry up and grabs 2 bells and throws 1 bell at Sasuke and slices the bell in half and gives 1 to Sakura. Now, this is where Kakashi is, getting up, patting himself and saying, "Look like y'all passed." Which, they're all happy and stuff. And, Kakashi saying that he's very proud of them using teamwork and stuff. Even at the sense of danger of him going for the kill, they still, kept their cool head and stuff. And Kakashi's pretty much telling that Naruto, he's a great leader of, leading them. Which Naruto says, "Thank you, Kakashi, and you're not too bad for yourself. I gotta say, when you was trying to put me in the Genjutsu, I actually felt it, but I easily broke out of it." Which Sasuke says, "What? He put you in a Genjutsu?" Which Naruto says, "Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He pretty much had me in the Genjutsu. The moment, if it wasn't for Sakura, using that that Earth-style quick mud jutsu, that quicksand mud jutsu, I would have probably got cut in the chest and got a scar from his Genjutsu, from him slicing me with the Genjutsu." Now, of course, this is where they do a couple missions. We're gonna say a couple of little missions, and Naruto doesn't really care about the missions. Well, no, he does, because he wants to become Hokage higher up. And he pretty much, goes up to Hiruzen and says, "Hey, old man," which Hiruzen says, "Hey, Naruto, what are you doing here?" Which, Naruto asks for a higher mission for his team. Now, this is where Hiruzen's saying, he doesn't think his team is ready yet, until Naruto pretty much looks at Hiruzen in the eyes and says to Pacific Hiruzen, saying, "Listen, Hiruzen, you know me, and I'm different now. So please, have faith in my team and me, and I can show you that we have skills." Which Hiruzen says, "Okay, I'll give you a shot. I'm going to give you a B1. A C? No, a C. Sorry, not a B. A C. To protect Tazla. Actually, no, we're going to make it a B. We're going to give it a B. And then we just make the story work from there." And he pretty much says it's going to be protecting Tazla. can y'all do it? Which Naruto says, okay, we can do it. Now, this is where, of course, Naruto goes up to his team and saying that they're going to be doing a B mission and it's going to be protecting Tanzania, which they're all excited, including Sakura, because she's going to prove her skills to Naruto that she's been getting better at her skill and her also trapping in chakra and stuff. Now, this is where Naruto begins to say he's going to be going somewhere to relax, which they say okay. Now, as he's going out of the town, going out to the town and relaxing and stuff, this is where we're going to say Hiruzen grandson begins to follow Naruto. Now, as Naruto's, relaxing and stuff, this is where he says, hey, come out here, kid, which the kid begins to come out and begins to say, you're Naruto's monkey, right? Which Naruto looks at him and says, yeah, I am. And this is where, the Hiruzen grandson says his whole name and stuff, which I forgot, my bad. And he begins to say that I heard you was a powerful ninja and stuff, which Naruto says, oh, yeah, I am. You want to try me? Which he says, yeah, I'm glad to. Now, they head out to, in a forest area, and Naruto begins to say, alright, let's see how you go. And the kid begins to charge at him. And he forms a clone, and he throws his clone at Naruto. Now, Naruto pretty much grabs the clone and slams it down on the ground. Pretty much, making it disperse. Now, Naruto's walking very slowly, saying, you gotta do better than that, which, the kid, he's getting a little bit nervous and stuff, and he says, I'm gonna have to do it then. And he begins to, we're gonna say he learns this sexy jutsu in his own way. Naruto didn't do it, but actually, yeah, Naruto did do it, but he learns this sexy jutsu in his own way. But it's not perfect, so this is where he does it wrong. And he says, sexy jutsu, and he forms it. But this is where it's, you could say an ugly girl. Now, this is where Naruto looks, and he begins to start laughing his ass off, saying, what the hell is that? What was you trying to do? Which, the kid begins to say, I was trying to make myself as a sexy girl so you can be distracted and make your nose bleed and hit the tree, which Naruto says, first of all, you did it wrong. And he pretty much knocks him in the head, which he pretty much, did person says, ow, which this is where Naruto says, here, this is how you do it. And he shows him the sexy jutsu perfection way. And this is where the kid, nose blushes and hit the tree. Now, this is where, Naruto teaches him the perfection of the sexy jutsu, and saying that this is what it's supposed to look like. Now, as he's showing him the jutsus, he's saying, wow, will this work? And this is where, I think the kid's mentor or, trainer comes in and says, you're not supposed to be with that Naruto kid. Which Naruto looks at him and says, and who are you? But he says, I am one of the ninjas, and, he's taunting on that. Which Naruto says, you ready? You ready for let me see your effective sexy jutsu and see how it works. Which he says, alright, I'm ready. And this is where he says, well, I'm not going to fight you, he's going to fight you. Which he says, oh, the little master is going to fight me. Alright, let's see. And this is where he does sexy jutsu with the guy, does his nosebleed and says, wah, and hit the water. Which the kid says, thanks Naruto, which Naruto says no problem, and he pretty much heads off. Now, Naruto's pretty much heading back into town and stuff, and this is where he meets a gang. We're gonna say this is a bunch of, delinquents of their own guy, the outcast gang that is from different clans. Like, we're gonna say one is from the Blood clan, one's from the, you could say, Kiba clan with the dog, and the other one's from, we're gonna say from the Hyuga. Had to pause the video, had to get some stuff done, but let's continue. Pretty much, Naruto, sees the gangs and, sees the gang, and they're pretty much, looking at Naruto saying, hey, which Naruto looks and says, yeah. Now this is where we're gonna say the leader is a female, and we're gonna say the leader is Tenten. because Tenten is doing some secret stuff. Now, this is where Tenten begins to we're gonna say to call out Naruto and saying that what's Naruto doing around here at these parts, which Naruto is pretty much looking and just saying pretty much saying that he is just walking. Now this is where Tenten says, "You dare disrespect me," which she's talking about the clan and saying that she's superior in some way. Which Naruto says, "Listen, I don't care about your clan. I don't really give a shit about you want to be ninjas. Y'all want to be ninjas. Y'all not strong enough at me, so I don't care." It begins to walk away. Now this is where Tenten gets mad. It begins to throw a fight, which you're gonna say the games. You could say the game members begins to try and jump Naruto. Now, of course, this is where Naruto kicks all their ass and has Tenten on the ground, on her ass. Now, Tenten's pretty much, scared, thinking that Naruto's gonna punch the shit out of her or something, which Naruto pretty much pats her on the forehead and pretty much, telling her that, a young lady should really not be acting all disgusting and foul, which, he kisses her on the forehead and she begins to blush. Now, this is where the gang members begins to, bow down to him and say that he's the new leader and stuff, including Tenten. She walks up to him and kisses him on the lips, saying that he's the new leader. Which Naruto begins to say, "Alright, well, as a new leader, we're going to do some good things around here." Sorry about that, but this is where you could say Naruto, and Tenten them do some cleaning and stuff. So yeah, this is where Naruto also telling them that they're going to be doing some training later on. But first, him and Tenten has to talk at his place. Now, as they're talking, this is where Naruto begins to tell Tenten that she's very gifted, which she's saying thank you and stuff. Now, this is where Tenten is looking down and holding her hands and saying that I hope, is anything else going to happen? And Naruto has a little bit of telepathy, so he can hear what's happening. And he begins to hold her hand and says that, "Tenten, would you like to have this time with me?" Now, of course, Tenten is, blushing. And we're going to say tiny bit wet. This is where Naruto lays her on the couch and begins to, kiss her and stuff. And this is where the 18XXX about to come in. So this might evolve with butt stuff. So if you're not a fan with butt stuff, I recommend not coming in the kitchen on this part. Now, let's continue. Pretty much Naruto is kissing down Tenten and stuff, and kissing her and stuff and squeezing on her little nipples, because we're gonna say Tenten doesn't have the itty bitties like that. And she begins to, moan and stuff. Now, she's creating, you could say, milk substance. And Naruto is, licking her down and he begins to undress her. Now, this is where he gets the tube and he's, fingering her butt and stuff. And, and Tenten is, you could say moaning and stuff and shaking, which Naruto's saying that she never did butt stuff haven't did this before, which she's saying she haven't did this before, which Naruto says, well, today's gonna be your first day of trying it out, which Naruto's saying this is gonna be my first time too. And he sticks his penis in Tenten's ass. Now Tenten begins to moan and stuff and Naruto's going in and out. And this is where Tenten is going crazy and having a little drool on the side of her lips and stuff, and her tongue is out. And this is where Naruto does nut in Tenten's ass. Now, this is where he takes it out and he goes in the vagina now. Now, Tenten begins to feel the penetration in her vagina. Now, Naruto's going in and out on her vagina, grabbing her boobs and stuff, and this is where, Naruto also, biting her. And we're going to say he's leaving her mark, saying that Tenten is mine, my property, you could say. and he begins to dun nut in Tenten. Now, as Tenten's laying on the couch, Naruto pretty much covers and lays her on the couch and kisses her on the forehead and telling her to have a good sleep, and he heads out. And he leaves a note for her to read next. Now, this is as Naruto's heading out. This is where, girls are saying hi to him and, saying Naruto-kun and stuff. This is where he meets up with his team and they head to the office now. As they're explaining as Ru's explaining the mission, the B mission, this is where they show Tazuna. Now Tazuna is pretty much looking at the whole team, and we're gonna say they're a tiny bit older, but he's looking at the team, and they're pretty much. This is where Tazuna's saying, this is gonna be the team protecting me, which Naruto says, y'all wanna show? Which they begin to all activate their Sharingan. Now, this is where, Tazuna is backing up and he has a cold sweat, which he's saying, so you want to say that again, old man? Which, Tazuna looks away. Now, Naruto pretty much is smiling saying that's what I thought. And he's pretty much saying, we're going to take you to your bridge and we're going to get the job done. Which Tazuna says, alright. Now, they're heading out and stuff. As they're going, this is where, we're going to say, as they're going forward, they see a puddle. Now, as they're seeing the puddle, this is where, Naruto can sense that there's two beings under the water, and he's saying, does anyone see anything different? This is going to be a lesson for y'all two, which Sasuke looks at the puddle. He says, it haven't rained for like a week now, which Naruto's saying, good. Also think of something else. Could this be a trap? Which Sakura is saying, yeah, there's like two beings under the thing, which Sasuke says, what? You can sense that? Which Naruto's saying, yeah, I was training Sakura on 101 of sensory ability. You could say it was a private lesson, which Sakura is getting wet because it was a sex and / private lesson. Now, this is where, the Demon Brothers begins to jump out and charge at Kakashi and about to, stab him until Sakura comes in and she already, throws both. I paused the video like 3 times or 4. I'm so sorry, but let's continue. She pretty much throws the kunais together and it hits both of the Demon Brothers in the chest. Now, this is where she activates a style and she does lightning shockwave jutsu. So this jutsu basically creates kind of like a invisible shock wave, and it only attracts to like metal wires, which Sakura through the connected wires to the Demon Brothers, and when it shocked them, we're gonna say when it shocks anyone, it pretty much does it's kind of like an electric current because we carry electric inside our bodies. So if it connects, if we gets too much, you could say we die. Now, Sakura pretty much did that, and it shocks 2 of the Demon Brothers, pretty much immobilizing them. Not too much to kill them, but to immobilize them so they can't move their body, and their muscles are all tightened up and stuff. So you could say their muscles and stuff is rolling up like a cinnamon roll. Now, as they're rolled up, they're pretty much doing the and Sakura's pretty much saying, did I do good, Naruto? Which Naruto begins to pat her on the head, says, you did good, Sakura. Now, tell me who y'all work for and what is going on. Now, this is where they explain that they came here for Tazuna, and, they're here to stop him from finishing up the bridge and stuff, and they also work with Zabuza and Haku. Now, this is where Naruto says, so tell me, are they male or female? Which, this is where the Demon Brothers begin to say, they are female. And they hit the ground. Now, Naruto ties them up and pretty much says, alright, well, we know that we're going to have to fight 2 people later on, so that's good. Now, Tazuna, you're going to tell me, is this a higher mission now? Which he's pretty much saying this is an S mission. And he had to, this is an A mission, and he had to lower it down because he didn't have the money to make it any higher, which Naruto says it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. We're just going to uh, continue the mission and still get the pay and stuff. Now, this is where Naruto. Now, if you're asking how did Tazuna make it into a B if it didn't have the money and he made it into C in the first place, and like in the anime, we're just gonna say he has the money. All right, he has a tiny bit more money to make it a B. Okay. Now, as Naruto's going, this is where they see the frog and stuff, and Naruto's already knowing that this is he feels that feeling. He's saying, we're already reached that point. And this is where Kakashi tells everybody to duck down and stuff. And Naruto, he backs away from the large blade getting hit by the tree. Now this is where female Zabuza comes in, and she's pretty much, expressing that, she's Zabuza from the hitting mist, and she's one of the seven swordsmen. Now everybody's shocked by it. Not Naruto. Naruto already did his research and stuff, so except for Kakashi, he's not shocked by it too. Now, this is where Naruto's not shocked, and he's pretty much saying, "Huh." He's pretty much smiling and saying, "Huh, that's impressive. I heard about the Seven Swordsmen. I heard they was all powerful and stuff. But it's funny how y'all disbanded. Y'all could have been great for the Leaf Village. What happened?" Which Zabuza is saying, "Huh? Will you like to know?" And she pretty much pulls out her sword and says, "Well, I'm gonna be killing him now, and ending this." Which, she's pointing at Tazuna. Now, this is where Kakashi says, "Now, if I have anything to do about it," and activate, pulls out his, not pull out his Sharingan. He begins to have that scrap with Zabuza. Now, as he's fighting with Zabuza, this is where, of course, he gets trapped in the water and stuff. And Naruto's saying, "God damn it." And he says, "Are you ready, Sasuke and Sakura?" Which, Sakura is saying, "Yeah." Now, this is where Naruto says, "Alright, Sakura, defend Tazuna, make sure, the perimeter is safe. Me and Sasuke's going to try to get Kakashi out," which Sakura says, "Okay." Now, this is where Naruto activate his Sharingan, his 3-Tomoe Sharingan, because we're gonna say his power is overflowing. He's kind of has that power like Broly. His power keeps skyrocketing and stuff, and it's overwhelming. So sometimes he has to let that out by having sex or using his chakra and stuff. Now, this is where his 3-Tomoe is activated, and Sasuke noticed that and says, "Notice that he has a 3-Tomoe, which he only has 2 now." This is where, Naruto says, "Are you ready, Sasuke?" Which, Sasuke says, "Yeah," and they begin to start heading forward. Now, they're fighting Zabuza clone with the sword, and Sasuke is pretty much dodging it and stuff. Now, this is where Naruto pretty much throws the kunai on Sasuke, which Sasuke grabs it, and he puts the string on it and throws it back, which Zabuza clone dodges it. But as Zabuza's clone dodging it, Naruto grabs the kunai, throws it at the other tree, which Zabuza dodge again and pretty much get cut by the wire. And disperse. Now, this female Zabuza is saying, "Very impressive, y'all two boys. But can y'all really think y'all can, free your sensei, Kakashi?" Now, this is where Naruto says, "I can." And he begins to charge at Zabuza. Now, this is where she begins about to put out her sword to to swing at Naruto, until Naruto uses a unique Genjutsu, kind of like Itachi's, but much different. As Zabuza swings at Naruto, this is where a bunch of bats, yeah, a bunch of bats, as about like Naruto disperses into bats, and he appears right behind Zabuza. Now, this is where Naruto about to stab Zabuza, claw down female Zabuza in the back until she backs away from the claw attack, which Naruto he didn't do it. She was caught in the Genjutsu by Naruto the moment she looked at his eyes. Now, she's pretty much saying, "What the hell just happened?" Which, she's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Which Naruto's saying that he pretty much had her in a Genjutsu for like only 10 seconds. but now my sensei is going to handle the light work for me, which Kakashi pretty much says, thank you for letting me have this fight. Now I'm going to really show her. The Kakashi, the 1000 copy ninja, and begins to have that scrap beef. Now, female Zabuza, she's pretty much getting her ass whooped and handled to her. She's getting handled, you could say. Now, as she's getting handled, this is where, Haku comes in and she hits the needles, pretty much, pretending to kill Zabuza. Now, she pretty much saying that she's won it and she takes it away, which this is where Naruto's saying that, yeah, they was working together, which Kakashi says they was. Which Naruto says, yeah, if a Anbu ninja, like, if the same Anbu ninja is going out to, kill a person, they don't try to take the body back. They just kill the person and leaves the body there, and we could have just moved on. Now, Naruto's saying that they're probably going to have to fight both of them later on. Probably or probably not. And they pretty much head to Taz's house. Now, as they head into Taz's house, Kakashi's about to train him with water work, which Naruto says they don't need help with that. They just need help with physical strength and, training and stuff and meditation, which, Kakashi says, oh, okay. And he begins to, do his 2 clones while he's trying to get a rest. Which Naruto noticed that Kakashi's eye is, constantly bothering him. Now, this is where Naruto asks, what's up with Kakashi and why is he constantly covering up his eye? Built up with so much chakra in there, which he's pretty much explaining the situation in which he can't turn off the Sharingan. Now, this is where Naruto says, I got an idea. And he pretty much, touches Itachi's eyes with Itachi one eye and begins to, try to heal it. Now, he heals Itachi's eye. Only temporarily. Like, he can deactivate it, but it's like when he reactivated it, it's still going to take a lot of chakra. So Kakashi, realizing that he can deactivate and reactivate it, saying, you fixed it, thanks. Which Naruto says, yeah, I kind of fixed it. I kind of like you're still going to have that chakra drainage, but at least you can turn it off and get a good rest. Which Kakashi says thanks. Now, this is where, of course, Kakashi is training those two, and Naruto goes out in force and begins to, relax. Now, this is where he senses the same person, or you could say the same scent, and he's saying, so you're the one who saved your master, Zabuza, which, Haku is, saying her name and stuff and explaining her stuff. Now, this is where, Naruto asks to see where he is. Where she is, and wants to talk to her, which Haku reluctantly agrees. Now, this is where they meet up, and this is where Naruto sees female Zabuza. Now, female Zabuza, she's up and stuff, and she's showing her face saying, so you came to me, so why should I not kill you now? Now, this is where Naruto comes close to Zabuza, and he begins to make out with Zabuza. Now, Zabuza, her eyes is wide open, and she's trying to resist, but Naruto is pretty much, dominating her. Now, as it's pretty much over, Zabuza, she's pretty much, a little bit dazed, but she's wet. Now, Naruto's pretty much saying that he wants to feel her power and stuff, and begins to, you could say, 18 part about to happen, so he pretty much lays Zabuza down, and he begins to undress her. Now, Haku is seeing this, and she's pretty much, staying still and, getting wet from this and stuff, and seeing this whole situation. Now, Naruto is pretty much saying that you can join in on this, which, Zabuza, she says, what the hell, come join us, which, Haku begins to come in too. Now, we're gonna say this is a threesome, so Naruto is, doing Zabuza at the same time, eating out Haku, and as Naruto, you could say, done nutting Zabuza, he switched to Haku and doing her butt and stuff, and also doing her vagina, and he begins to have the milk happening, and he's sucking the milk and stuff, and I'm gonna let you know right now, as Naruto's having sex with Haku and, Zabuza, he's getting their Kinkai and also, like, their chakra and also their jutsus and stuff. Now, this is where he, nuts on both of them and he lays in the bed. Now, Haku and Zabuza is laying in the bed with them, and Naruto's pretty much telling them that he doesn't want to kill them because he ain't gonna lie, this sex was pretty much like a really best sex he had right now, and he doesn't really want to kill them, and he wants to do this later on. So he's asking them to join them, and they can, get the pay, and they can join in the Leaf Village, and he can make sure they can have a nice life and a nice house to live in and stuff, and they don't have to worry about the, the hidden rain village, coming after them and stuff and trying to kill them. Now, of course, Haku and Zabuza is pretty well. Haku's not saying anything, but Zabuza is saying, but they're going to try to kill him too. Which Naruto says, "Trust me, they're not going to kill me. I will kill them, and I will keep y'all safe." Which Zabuza, she blushes and look away. Closes her eye and lay on Naruto's chest, which Haku pretty much lays on Naruto's chest too. Now, this is where Naruto comes back in. He's pretty much telling Kakashi to calm down, like, don't try to attack them. They're going to be, with me, and they're going to be going back to the Leaf. They're going to be the good guys, or the good, you could say good girls, which Kakashi says, alright, if you say so, but if they do one shady move, I'm going to, do what I do, which Naruto says he's going to handle them personally and punish them, which he's pretty much grabbing Zabuza's ass saying, ain't that right? Ain't that right? Which she pretty much looks down getting wet saying, yeah. And Haku too. Now, this is where, of course, we're going to say Naruto's heading to the bridge, and this is where, the henchman, the guy, the boss, and the henchman has all his henchmen and stuff, and this is where Zabuza, she has her sword out and pretty much saying that she's going to kill all of them, and Haku too, which Sasuke, which Naruto says that he wants to see how Sasuke do in this situation, and they pretty much charge at the goons. Now, they pretty much destroy them, and Sasuke, he unlocks his 3-time move due to that, training experience, because we're going to say the goons are a little bit stronger. Now, the bridge was named after Naruto, the great Naruto, and the mission became a success. So, Haku and Zabuza, they're both females, and they're both alive. So, there pretty much is, you could say, a part of Naruto's household. Kind of as, bodyguards, but also as maids and stuff. Now, as they're heading back, this is where they head back and stuff, and Naruto pretty much gave them the address and tell them to, like, make their stuff at home. He's going to be, going to go get something to eat until, Sakura, she invites, not Sakura, Hinata invites Naruto to the Hyuga clan, which Naruto reluctantly agrees to. Now, as he's pretty much going, this is where Hinata pretty much talks to Naruto's privately. Now, as he's talking to Naruto privately, she begins to ask if it's all true, which Naruto's saying true about what? Which she says that you've been having sex with a lot of girls and you've been giving them affection, which Naruto saying, and are you jealous, or do you have a thing for me? Which she pretty much, push all her courage by the side and saying that she had feelings for him the moment when he saved her from that time, which Naruto is giving a little bit wide up and saying, huh, you had feelings for me the moment I saved you from the bullies? And she begins to say yes, and I'm in love with you, Naruto. And she begins to hop on Naruto and kisses him. And she says that she's gonna try. She says she doesn't know if she's gonna be one of the girls, like be one of those other girls, but she's gonna give her all to him, and she's gonna make sure, like, he's going to love her. Which Naruto says, let's see you try it then. Which we're gonna say this is an 18 part, so I'm giving y'all like a lot of 18 parts right now into detail too. This is where Naruto undressed Hinata and she's completely naked, and Naruto is naked too now. Of course, this is where Hinata is blushing and stuff, and Naruto begins to grab Hinata's boobs and stuff, and he points into them, and she begins to moan. Now, as she's moaning, this is where Naruto goes at the bottom, and he is fingering and stuff. He's pretty much fingering while he's sucking on Hinata's boob. Now, she's pretty much moaning and stuff, and she's saying yes because, like I said, Naruto has a split tongue, so those split tongue is really going into detail with those nipples and stuff and going in. Now, this is where Hinata, squirts and stuff, and Naruto begins to say, "Are you ready?" Which she says, "Yeah," and Naruto begins to stick his penis in, his vagina. Now, this is where Naruto's going in and out and stuff, and biting on Hinata's neck and stuff, and having her to, getting her to moan and stuff. And this is where Naruto is pretty much making out with Hinata and says that he's about to nut, and he pretty much nuts in Hinata. Now, we're gonna say Hinata's father comes in and see Naruto with his shirt off getting dressed, and seeing Hinata getting dressed. Now, this is where he asks what the hell is going on here, which Hinata's pretty much, using her courage and saying that she's in love with Naruto, and like she might be one of those other girls, but she's going to make him hers one day. Which, he sees the boost of confidence in her and her willpower, which he pretty much looks down and says, Naruto, I don't know much about you, but I do know you're the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, and I do accept you in this household. Which Naruto bows and says, thank you, and I will treat your daughter with much respect and love. Which he pretty much says, as you excuse me, I'm going to be going now. Now, this is where Naruto heads home, and he's pretty much saying, what a day. Which this is where Haku this is where, not Haku, but Zabuza, she comes in, and she pretty much be right behind Naruto, pretty much only with a chef's robe and nothing else on it. She's saying that, Naruto, I cooked something for you, which Naruto says, oh yeah? Which she says, yeah, and they begin to make out. Now, this is going to be part 3? 3 or 2? I think 2 or 3. I forgot. But this is going to be 2 or 3. I forgot. I think 2. This is 2. Yeah, this is part 2 of What If Naruto was... part 2 of What If Naruto was the Lust Demon King. If y'all like, leave a like, do all that stuff. But this is going to be one video today. Sorry. But I'm Kishonochi. Thanks for watching, and peace out.
It looks like you lost another one.